I'm not even. Oh, my camera. Fuck. God. Okay. So there's a lot to this game I really want to cover, and it really is up to you at the end of the day if you like this stuff or not. I'm gonna just mention what I did love, what I felt was too much, what I kind of thought like if things were good and outweighed bad, or if bad outweighed the good, and everybody's different. So something that I may consider a win, people consider a loss. Some things that annoy the hell out of me could be something that's born with bread and butter. Who knows? So this game might be up your alley. Come and see. Now, nowadays, people mark every single game as Souls-like. The second has combat. The second, it's like action RPG. It's Souls-like. When I did research on this game, I saw a lot of people saying it was compared to Nioh, and I really do see that. It's much faster paced than most Souls-likes, gives you a lot more loot, and even the way you level up is just very similar to Nioh. Like, for example, you have every stat is tied to a weapon, or at least almost every stat is tied to a weapon, and then, of course, every time you level up, it also really helps up your health as well. So that's similar to Nioh in a lot of ways. And while there are, of course, builds, like honestly, mostly you just like even out a lot of the base stats, and then just start pumping into your one damage stat the rest of the game, and you're kind of good. There's like I'm not saying it's less strategy involved, but like it's just like it's just a different way of approaching the way of leveling stuff up. And just like Nioh, especially 1 and 2, this is a mission-based system where you can go in a mission, bosses that end the mission, then the mission ends. And that's pretty much it each time. Of course, Nioh 3 is now close to Elden Ring, if anything. So, but in order to talk about Nioh 1 and 2, because when this came out, I saw that was out, and even like I didn't even play the demo for Nioh 3 until after I finished this game. So, like, I'm just gonna compare it to 1 and 2, and that's 1.6 now. Of course, there are differences. Like in Nioh, you couldn't leave missions, and it was just annoying because like there were so many times I was like barely surviving, like halfway through this mission. I'm just not doing well. I'm either out of supplies, or like for example, elixirs, or some other material, some other like symbol I was using, or whatever. Who knows? Or it's just that like this area in general is just kicking my ass, and I just want to leave. I've gone so far. I played this area for an hour, and then Khazan just leave, which is actually funny enough. I didn't really feel like I had to leave most of the time. But like, anyway, like, the great thing about this is that in Khazan I could just go to an area, fight a bunch of stuff, go back to the hub, go back to the area again, and fight some stuff again. And it's great. In fact, that was actually how I leveled up my summon. I went to the same area, like the 3rd mission. Just killed enemy spirits, and then got whatever they dropped, and then used that to level up my summon. That was it. Actually, speaking of, another thing Nioh has, like apparently every time you die, like those red spirits and everything are other players where they died and everything. So that's pretty much similar to Nioh as well, because Nioh, if you die twice in a row, you have a grave. In this game, I guess if you die twice in a row, you end up just another spirit, another enemy spirit. Like, yeah. And of course, there's no key poses like there are in Nioh, even though it is, there's also no free stances like there is in Nioh either. But just the overall feel and like general atmosphere, I would say, really did feel like it. Like it's just, I would say, this is instead of a direct branch off the Souls tree, it's more like a more lateral move. Like, actually, not saying Nioh's like more lateral move, and then this is taking like a little branch off that. That's what I would say. And honestly, more need to do that. Not even because Nioh, just like more need to go lateral and branch out from that kind of stuff, and not just all copy from soft. Like in fact, most Soulslikes fail because they copy from soft. So like, I'm glad this did not do that. Now, outside the Souls-like similarities and comparisons, it is still 100% its own game. It has its own combo system, and similar to old school action games and everything, where you use all these different buttons and all these different commands. You could like switch around. Of course, this is very customizable. So, what I did was I kind of just felt, okay, what is this move? What move does this button like bring to my head? Like when I'm going to do this move, like what button combination goes to my head? R2 and square, okay. R2 and circle, okay. And then I just had to put that there. That's honestly my whole thought process. But like, this really like it's one of those things that makes use of all the controllers, not just dodge and attack, and then maybe occasional parry. And even though there are only 3 weapon types, they made them all unique. Like I didn't use the other 2. I'm not gonna lie and say like, I know the ins and outs of this game, but I have seen them in motion, and I just by looking at they're looking at their skills trees, like they're completely different, and like every skill, like every tree is unique to that weapon. Like there's like the stuff I was doing with my dual wielding, you can't do with the great sword. You can't even attempt to do with the spear. And of course, the best part is you can reset them and just change them at any time. Just any time. Don't have to go to a checkpoint. Don't have to use an item. Just go to the menu, skill tree, and then just set skills. Do it anytime you want. It's actually similar to Black Myth Wukong in that aspect. Though Black Myth Wukong, you had to go to the shrine to do that, but still, it's just the fact that it's free is what grabs me. Because there's sometimes the skill be best used if it's used in a group. And then when I'm going to a boss, I'm like, I wasted these 4 points here when they'd be better here, and vice versa. So that's what I really feel like. And now you can't switch the weapons as fast as like War or Devil May Cry, but there's still like the fact that you have 3 different weapons is still just a nice change. Like that, with 3 unique weapons, that's what like matters at the end of the day. The fact that they're unique. I remember I've seen a few people say, "Oh, I can't believe you only use 3 weapons. It's so lazy." I'm like, have you seen this gameplay? Like, have you seen it? Like in Dark Souls and the like ISP, yeah, you can use different weapons. You can do like tons of different weapons, and yeah, like they even have special moves and all that. But like, at the end of the day, they're very limited in what they're doing. Like you can't do all these deep combos and everything. You just attacking, like strong attacking, dodging, like parrying, like maybe like an occasional special, like certain things kind of like how ISP have Baywars and everything, but like, it's not the same as having a bunch of unique combinations. And don't get me wrong, I've seen stuff getting like worse and worse with different armor sets and everything. But that still doesn't excuse the poor crafting. Like, oh my god, crafting in this like game is just so terrible. So, like, it just feels so half-assed. I don't know. Like that's why I bring up the suits, because like I actually noticed when I went ahead and googled like, okay, what's the best dual wielding like that in this game. I found one that worked for me, and then I instantly noticed myself getting way better and way stronger. I was just wondering, at first I was trying to wonder if it was in the suit or not. Then I tried to farm by changing like armor sets and using one that gives you more money and like XP and all that. Hey, I felt the difference immediately. I mean, but it still doesn't change the fact. Man, you would think that you have like more access to like better equipment or something. I don't know. Like he's okay. Here's what I'll explain. So in the final mission, I found a weapon that was, so I'll say 74 attack stronger than my current weapon. And my current weapon, I think, also something I found as well. If you were to craft a weapon, it would still be like at least 80 attack under what I found. And even if I like went ahead and like made it like a next, like made it from like a unique to rare or rare to legendary, whatever, all that, it still would only go up so much. And then I can also like increase it a little bit, like, but no, it's still only so much at the end of the day. So I couldn't even. Usually in games, crafting is where you make most OP, like Borderlands just broken gear. In this game, I don't have that. I mean, I don't care if I don't have that ability, but it's just the fact that what they had in its place was just sad. Once again, I'm not even using that in games and everything, and that stuff from like FromSoft, everything seemed so much better when it came to that kind of stuff. It's just like the worst Soulslike craft system I've ever seen. I'm just whatever. Now the bosses. Bosses. Oh, the bosses. Are you kidding? Oh. God. Words. So the bosses in this game were something else. Sometimes they felt fair, other times not so much. There were a few bosses I struggled with, and I got slowly better and better and everything, and then I just needed a tiny little push sometimes, and that was like when I really started to use a summon. And then usually like when I go from that, some just like rewash the boss next time, because I pretty much had like everything in my head. I just couldn't like get that 1% health finished off. Then there are other times when I couldn't even get 1/5 of a health bar down, and then I summon, and then we're still struggling for like another hour. I'm like, okay, and yeah, that's yeah. If like the game was requiring me to use the summon just like we're in battle. So you can just imagine how some of the tougher fights were with that. I do like though that every boss did make me adapt in different ways though. Like in the first bosses, made me dodge a lot, and then after that, I had to aggressively, not even parry, just aggressively block, and then attack at the same time while that's happening and everything. Then another boss was a parry boss, and then like they keep mixing stuff up, and then so it's. I remember one of the things I read when I was getting this, not even getting into it, like just general how the bosses are boring. You do the same thing each time. Maybe you did, but I approached them much differently than picks, because I did not feel like the same attack and doing the same thing each time. I mean, sure there like there's some moves I spammed, like my combos and everything. Yeah, but I didn't feel like that was really just easy mode. And then of course there are those bosses that you gotta just get super aggressive with, and even then they would just fly away. Those stupid mage bosses. There was a 3, then like something if you count something else, that 4. They were just so annoying. Maybe one of those types would have been fine, but the same kind of like it's not. There wasn't the same moveset. It was just like the same old thing of they attack me, and roll away, and then start spamming distance attacks, and I'm like, just stop, just stop. They wouldn't let it. But anyway, on the bright side, if the boss does kill you, or like immortalize a P, your stuff is in front of the boss stuff. What isn't similar to the ISP is the best part. You always gain XP. Like, so if I almost killed a boss, and I was just like this close to it, I could be like 1,400 or even 2,000 or whatever. And of course, the next attempt, I barely do this much damage, and then I get like 80. So it's proportionate to how much damage you're doing, how far you do. So when I first heard that, I thought it was like, oh man, so if you don't like make it past your last record, you're screwed. No, it's in the records and everything. It's just that you gotta earn it. Either way, it's a good way to farm too. Like, though that I guess that requires you to just lose the last second each time. But either way, I'm just glad that you have something that rewards you for putting in effort and just not giving up each time. Okay, so this is kind of vague category name. I don't know what to put, how to label it. So as far as like art direction, everything, like design, well, that design was kind of fine. I'd say like when I first looked at this game, I kind of thought it was everything would blend, like a similar shading or something like that, and I wasn't really sure if I liked it or not. But then by the time I started playing it, I really enjoyed it. So I don't know. So one or two things happened. Either I was so into the game itself that I really got into the style, or what I saw before was like all that kind of same stuff over and over again. So I just like all assumed it was blended. It was like just super bland and everything. So like I said, art direction is fine, but what I did take issue with was level design. So every main mission, you get a submission, and that submission, like sometimes 2 or 3, max 3. And then starting from mission 2, that submission would usually involve a mirror version of the last boss you fought, like the boss of that area. Of course, that's not always true, but like for especially the first ones, that was the case. And at first, there was just there's like an easier version of those same bosses, and then like sometimes I'll notice, oh, they're doing phase 2 moves and phase 1 kind of thing, but like for the most part, they're still pretty much just the same boss. And there are some missions in the same area that do not take much issue with, because even though it's a bit lazy in my opinion, it's just fine, whatever. Just use the same boss, the same areas. It's just I guess a way to just tweak that boss a bit, I guess. The issue I took was the copy and pasting of the levels. Like one time I was in a mine, and then it said, okay, you gotta go to this different mine, and then stop the stuff that's happening there. It was literally the same mine, except, like, for example, where there was a ladder, the ladder was gone, and then like there was another path like somewhere else instead. And then of course, places you were going to before were blocked off with rocks. So it was just, we're gonna take this map and then slightly alter it. And anyone who's played Dragon Age 2 can kind of see where I'm coming from, because EA just made Dragon Age 2, like, they heard they had rushed it out like a year or something like that, so that's understandable. And they had something just repeats the same cave over and over again in that game. And that was like, of course, that was because of higher ups and budgeting and all that stuff. I don't know if that was a similar case here. Like if they had the same story, so I'm not really like gonna get too much into that. I even kind of accepted that part at some point, because if there are budget reasons, there's not much you can do. Like as far as I know, they're not a huge studio. But I do remember somewhere near the end of the game where they reused, I can't remember what mission it was, but it was a main story mission, and they reused the same map, or at least part of the same map as an earlier area. I was like, this is not right. This isn't right at all. And like that, I feel like that just kind of crossed the line for me. I only remember it happened one time, so like it's not like it was a repeat offender, but still, that irked me in the wrong way. Now, on top of that, some of the designs of these levels in general just were not great. Oh my god, from enemy placements to like where the shortcuts are, and then including what everybody loves about the final mission, which was just, okay, so you appear somewhere, you're in front of an elevator. The elevators can't be operated for whatever reason, just that way. Can't operate from this side, or can't do this, that, can't do that, whatever. It's normal game stuff. Then you go through this whole annoying platforming thing with floating rocks, enemies along the way for some reason. I don't know why they're the wrong way, like tilting buildings and all this other nonsense. And it took me like 40 minutes because so many deaths and all that. Probably more than 40 minutes is actually cutting it too low. Anyway, after all that, I just end up landing in front of the elevator that goes down to where I started. I'm like, I understand the point of a shortcut, but the entire thing was just so stupid. That whole area was just so poorly designed. The fact that you think anyone is going on with this is just also absurd. And that was also the final mission too. So I'm like, why are you doing this? Why can't I'm not saying they just have a steak dinner with the habit or whoever's like taking care of everything, but I really hope in the future this stuff does get a bit better recognition, and people will decide I'm not gonna half-ass like I did before. And at the end of the day, Soulslikes are not huge on story, though it could have been much worse, I would say. It's more of a basic story than a bad story, and it's very predictable, and you aren't gonna be crying over the main characters or anything else going on really most likely. But I would say this is between Dark Souls, where it's just you kind of exist, and Liza P, which is highly regarded for the story. And then of course other ones like that are enough perhaps Treasure. And if you want to consider Kana Soulslike, that's also a huge story one as well. So it's not anywhere near those, but it's better than you meet some random thing that just walks around desolate world. It's classic revenge tale. That's why he's fucking berserking. It's revenge tale. And I'd say, like, I understand why he wants what he wants. I understand what motivations for every character and all that stuff, and I know like what I'm supposed to feel in this part and everything, but I just don't care. I mean, if I was supposed to emotionally be invested, they did not say that, and I'm not getting the feeling that most people are going to be emotionally invested. They may have already seen some of that stuff anyway. So either way, like, story is just, it's a vehicle, it's a literal plot device in this case. Just delivering you to your bosses. So I definitely had a love-hate relationship with this game. There was so much to love, which like things like combat, of course, and then so much to hate, like the level design. Of course, I don't hate the game itself, just some aspects of it, you know. But some of it was just so very frustrating. I think this the franchise belongs to wants to make more of these games, so we'll see in the future if there's more in store. Uh, and so that's Dungeon Fighter Online. It's apparently a very popular free Korean game, like a fighter and everything. And in that game series, there's something called Khazan syndrome. And then I assume that he travels the world and then starts infecting people with Khazan syndrome, like accidentally. Someone who knows. I don't know if they did include different type of combat in the next one, or if something else happens, or like that. I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of curious. I won't be a day one buyer and all that from that, but I'm just kind of curious where it leads me. Right, but thanks for like taking the time to watch this, and I would recommend this game at least. But be warned about things I've said, so who knows if it's the right things to be warned about. But I've recorded this a few times now, and I think I've just said my piece. Hey. Club Desire first-hand experience with it. But no, thank you. Oh, okay.